Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
What does it mean?
Xiaozu Daitu means do the work. And there's a Chinese anecdote that goes along with the do the work story that Coach D may tell you sometime. It's obviously his saying, but do the work.
Pretty good. You guys are doing the work right now on the defensive end. I mean, what have you seen from these guys through this part of the season that maybe has surprised you, or maybe some things that you thought, yeah, we had this coming in?
You know, the things that we thought we had and we needed to have to be successful, they're showing up. There's no doubt about that. In terms of, you know, I think we had, 27 or 28 guys play in significant moments last week. The guys are very confident in themselves. When they're confident in themselves, they communicate with others, so the communication is a lot better. Leadership on the field, those things are high right now.
Mike, what stands out to you when you look at Northwestern? They're different. They're not exactly the same, some tweaks. What stands out to you?
Well, they're an offense that has a very good quarterback and a very good tailback. And when you have those two things, you're dangerous.
Right.
So that jumps out right off the bat.
You guys, injuries were obviously an issue last year at linebacker. How much we've been really consistent this year? How much has that really just helped spearhead your
You know, any position group is going to be that way. If you have your guys healthy, you're going to be better. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's consistency. We've been able to have consistency with our lineups, consistency with our rotations, and you're not trying to relearn things on the fly, which is huge. You're in week 8, week 9, you're in the middle of the season, you don't want to relearn things. You know, Iowa last week, for example, against Northwestern, had to move their Sam linebacker to middle linebacker and bring in a different Sam linebacker. So not only do you lose Josie Jewell at the middle running the show, but another person has to learn another spot that they haven't been practicing. And when you can keep consistency, you can continue to grow.
Looked like you were able to get Matt Morrissey in the game a little bit more on Saturday, kind of almost playing as, looked like star linebacker almost, sort of. I mean,
yeah, you know, in the nickel package, in our
Right.
Delta package, how you name those positions is sort of up to you. Hopefully they're all bouncing around and blitzing at different times and dropping in different areas at other times. So, but he is a guy that can tackle in space. On third down, you have to be able to tackle in space. He's been trained throughout his whole career as a safety to be able to vision and break on the ball. And he played, watch the Northwestern game last year. He played star linebacker for us in our base package last year. So he's proven to be pretty multidimensional.
how important is it to find roles for guys like that? You know, because David Dowell took over as the starter, but now Morrissey's able to get in there and play a role still.
It's important for a couple reasons. One, you're keeping more people fully engaged because they know they have a role. Okay, so that's one reason. Second reason is as you get into games like Indiana, who's averaging 80 snaps a game, or Northwestern, who's averaging 80-plus snaps a game, you want to be able to play more people to just keep people fresh. And when you have guys that can impact the game, you don't want them standing next to you on the sideline.
You kind of talk about that. It seemed like Josiah was in that nickel role and bringing in Josh Butler, I guess. Is that something you try to do, mix up the personnel based on scheme and based on the opponent too? Or is that something that goes in with that, keeping guys mentally active?
It's a combination. It really is a combination. Do you want a third corner out there at your nickel spot that particular week, or would you rather have a third safety out there at that nickel spot that particular week? But it also comes down to who's playing the best football and how do we get our 11 best for that particular situation onto the football field. So it's a combination of rewarding guys that deserve it and personnel matchups and keeping people fresh. There's a lot of things that go into those decisions.
Mike, you loved Joe Bacci. In fact, on signing day of his signing year, you said we stole him. That was your words. And has he lived up to, or is he even exceeding where you thought he'd be at this point in his career?
I wouldn't have guessed right now he'd have 2 Big Ten Player of the Week honors. I mean, it's hard to guess that about anybody.
Right.
But certainly we did. We loved him from the get-go. We thought he was a Spartan tough kind of kid. He had good football instincts, but fit our mold in terms of he's tough, he's going to smack you, when in doubt, run through the wall. And what we didn't know, we heard it from high school coaches, and you saw it a little bit on high school film, but you never know what the leadership's going to be like, and truly what the football IQ is going to be like with the vast playbook that we try to put out there. So I'd say exceeding expectations, because it's hard to expect that of anybody.
I know the special teams duties are split up under Mark. Do you have punt?
Punt, yeah.
And punt return, or just punt?
Just punt.
Okay.
Well, what are the challenges that you get in Chicago and in Evanston with the win there with the punting unit?
No doubt about it. There's been years there where you had to use all different alternative styles of kickoffs. You didn't even try to kick off in certain directions. Same thing with punts. There's been times where, hey, in these 2 quarters, we're only going to rugby kick it so we don't get it up there into that breeze. I remember we ran our mousetrap fake with Bates as the quarterback. We told him, hey, we will not run this fake into the wind, no matter what, so don't worry about that. And then in the 4th quarter, when we need it, he had to hang that sucker up into the wind. So sometimes plans change, but bottom line is, yeah, you have to be prepared to have a plan for that wind.
And Jake this year has obviously been pretty good. You know, how have you seen him progress into
Jake's he's done a great job. I mean, he's kept the ball in the location we needed. He's certainly boomed a few. He understands when the rush is coming, so his get-off times in those situations are very quick. If there's one thing, can we just keep the ball out of the end zone? Too many dang touchbacks on the punt unit. So that's a point of emphasis, but he's doing a good job.
How much of that is his fault, though, and kind of the coverage? Mark kind of mentioned that on Tuesday, that Jake's done a really good job placing the ball. Sometimes the coverage doesn't get there.
So when I'm talking to the gunners, it's their job to keep the ball out of the end zone. If the ball lands in play, it shouldn't end up in the end zone. That's the gunner's job. Mm-hmm. When I'm talking to Jake, I say, Jake, the ball's coming off of your foot. You're the one in control. Don't punt the ball into the end zone. That's your job.
Yeah.
So it depends who you're talking to. When Coach D'Antonio's talking to me, Mike, you're in charge of the punt team. Keep the ball out of the end zone. So, you know, it's all perspective.
Apologies if you've gotten to this already, but have you been able to pinpoint, like you look back at last year versus this year and see where the real difference is defensively? 7 games in, it's pretty clear you guys are a good defense. Can you pinpoint it yet?
We talk a lot about if 11 people execute, we will win. You know, and you look back on last year, there was a lot of missed assignments across the board. It might just be one guy here, one guy there, but that's a game of football. It's an 11-piece puzzle defensively. You need 11 people to execute. And it's not just missed assignments. It's when things are rolling the wrong way, somebody tries to cover for somebody else or tries to do too much or just wants to make a play. You know, right now, we're just focused on 11 people execute, do your job, trust your teammates, and that's the biggest thing, consistency across the board.
The confidence of a couple of the guys said when he had the sudden change and Indiana got the ball at like the 15, they had no doubt they were going to stop him there. I mean, that's a confidence, breeding confidence week after week sort of deal.
No, that's exactly right. And sometimes I think you guys get bored when I talk about it's about the confidence and believing in each other and as things snowball, the swag sort of rises. But that truly is the case. I mean, football is a game of momentum and it's a game of believing in each other and 11 people doing their job. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
Are you surprised with as much turnover as you've had that you've been able, this defense has been come along as quickly as it did, or it has?
That's what we were hoping for. That's what we wanted. You know, I mean, we came into this year with who knows who the stars are going to be type of thing, but a lot of people that we trusted and that trusted each other. And when you have the coaches' trust, when the players trust the coaches, when they trust each other, and they'll all go to battle with each other, and those are the guys, you know, you want in the foxhole with you, you're going to do well.
Thoughts on Antoine, just how you think he's developing?
Really well. I mean, I'm excited about him. He really tackles well. He really bends his knees in space. So like we talked about with Morrissey, being able to make plays in space, he does a great job. So we're getting him more and more reps as we go. And, you know, I think he had nearly 20 snaps on defense last week. So real happy.
Does this game, you know, because people talk about with these games out ahead and I mean, potential for a trap game, does how things went last year prevent some of that maybe?
I have a hard time seeing anybody think that any game in the Big Ten Conference is one that you're going to look past. Certainly not Northwestern. I mean, Northwestern's a good football team. They're really a good football team. But every single game we're in goes down to the bitter end. How could you not be locked in and focused and ready to play? So I think our guys know every game's going to be 60-minute, and let's go.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely, guys.
Right at 10 minutes, too. That's precision.